rotate it. I want you to rotate the other way. Why did it do this? Why? Why did you do this? Okay. I was prepared for the other way. Let's go. It's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool, it's cool. Let's get myself together. Bring that down. Bring it on down. Bring it on down. Bring the phone down. Ay, 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 ay. Oh man, I didn't mean for it to stream this way. Y'all, I haven't went live in so long. I have some things that I would like to talk about. I would like to talk about. I'm just getting into the vibe. I'm not used to it streaming this way, so I'm having to adjust my stuff. So just give me a second. Also, I just got my fingers done, and my nails is popping off. So if I look crazy over here, don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Hey, family. Hey, family. What's up, Sequoia? What up, y'all? How you doing? What up, y'all? So I just wanted to go live and pop in because I haven't been live in a while. And I kind of accidentally took a little 2-week break from the YouTube world. I didn't mean to, but it just happened. And when stuff just happened, woo, that was too bright. When stuff just happened, I just go with the flow. So I just let myself go with the flow. But we back, okay? Because Virgo season has been making me really have to, well, no, for real, Leo season. Leo season came in with all the heart and all the feels for me. When I tell you, I had so many Leos just showing up in my world, just showering me with gems and jewels and literal hugs. Literal hugs, okay? But I want to talk about some stuff. Actually, me and my partner were just talking before I got on here, and I had a list of stuff I want to talk about because I've been fasting, but not water fasting. I've been doing more so herbal teas and like liquids, not smoothies or nothing, not nothing too heavy. I've been sticking to herbs, to be honest, and maybe some fresh juices. Like I made a watermelon juice and I was okay with drinking that, you know. But I just been fasting and getting light because this season that we are in, you all, this season that we are in is not for the faint of heart. It is not for the faint of heart. And I feel like Leo season came in, and if you notice, the Leos in your life are probably a little, Leos were really going through it. If you were paying attention to the Leos are really having to grow up, really having to reflect, really having to like face themselves in a different way. And I feel like Leo energy again, that energy represents the collective heart energy, the heart energy. So what's been coming up in society? So with fasting, I've been doing fasting in a way where I've been eating only when the sun goes down, you know, and really waiting for the sun to go down. And as a child, you know, if you check out some of my fasting videos, I talk a little bit about that. But as a child, I grew up Pentecostal, okay? Is the fan loud in the background? Because I was about to turn it off. But if it's not, I could just cool up, okay? But I grew up Pentecostal, and so I grew up in a church that probably felt like, hey, Tabitha girl. I grew up in a church that to some people probably could be described as like a cult, like the way my Pentecostal church looked like when I was growing up, you know? So, but as a part of our church, we had to fast, and we would have shut-ins, okay? We would have shut-ins like once a month sometimes, and the shut-in would be when we would spend a night at the church. We would be at the church all night, and not even just all night. Sometimes it would last all weekend. We would have all night ones, or we would have all weekend ones. And the 3-day shut-ins was crazy because the children had to fast as well. So it would be us and the bom dia, yes, hey, what up, what up? But we would have to, the kids would have to participate too. So imagine having to fast for 3 days, but not only just fast, we would have to get up and pray at certain hours 3, 6, 9, and 12 was my church's, like, the hours, the numbers that they chose for us to pour into. And so we would have to, every time 3 o'clock came around on the clock, if it was 3 a.m., if it was 3 in the afternoon, if it was 3 p.m., like, we was getting up to pray. And so it kind of puts you in this state of, like, I mean, now that I'm listening to it, we was doing some magic, okay? I be telling people, oop, 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 oop. Cotton mouth. My bad, y'all. Also, first off, don't talk about my fingers, okay? Because I went and got my nails done for the first time in 10 years. I got some acrylics on, and I haven't had nails in a long time, so I forgot at some point they start breaking or you be wanting to come off. So if you judge me, that's on you. But nonetheless, just recognizing the stuff that, like, my Pentecostal church was doing, you know, the ways in which people of color, like, we be connected to our ancestral and indigenous ways without even recognizing it. It's 7 of y'all in here, 6 y'all at least. Hit that like button. What y'all doing? That's the only way you let YouTube know. If you rocking with me, hit the like button. Be a good friend. Anyway, but the way we do stuff that is connected to our ancestral and indigenous heritages without actually realizing it or thinking about it. And so there's this guy I follow on Twitter. I can't remember his name right now, and I'm using my phone, so I can't look at it. But somehow I found him, and he talks a lot about fasting and the way that we fast in church, but also fasting with the planetary hours. And so I've been trying to tie in the stuff that I, like, got from childhood into, you know, the stuff I'm learning as an adult, you know. Yes, exactly. It is so powerful. Exactly. Oh, hi, little brother. How are you? I love you. But, you know, like, just tying that stuff in and trying to, like, in my own ways, I guess, grow into becoming the old black lady. But while I've been fasting, what's been coming up for me? Oh, and if you haven't checked out my latest vlog, because the vlog was me fasting, I did a week fast for that one. And this one I was just fasting with the new moon. Yes, yes. Ooh, I might have to pop into that. Is it gonna be virtual? Is there a way that I can participate from where I am? Or I gotta be there? But I've been trying to tie that stuff in, but the stuff that's been coming up for me is vulnerability, okay? Like, and just humanness, what it means to be human. And all the ways in which we have somehow avoided to, like, okay, we live in a culture where I've been thinking a lot about Scorpio energy. Even I think Venus just transited through Scorpio, or it is in Scorpio or something right now. But we live in a culture where, as even this generation that's present, like Pluto in Scorpio generation, like we are the ones like having our Saturn returns and coming into whatever. Like, you look at this culture and you see the ways in which we're over sexualized, like all the things that we are, the way we carry our humanity, but those are also the very things that we don't actually give real truth to. Like, we don't give real, like, what it means to be human to us is tied into everybody else in a way that is very toxic, but that is very rooted into me, like lower chakra energies, lower frequency energies, like just lower vibrations. I don't think we understand how to be human outside of those contexts. And I feel like this time that we're in with the panini that's happening, you know, and all of these, like all these new fraternities and sororities they got running around here, Delta Lambda, all these people, everybody been pledging. You know, it's like all of this stuff, in some ways, I really do feel like this has come to make us all just be present and to detox. Like, how else do you make people detox, purge, and get healthy, but to invite sickness or illness in a way where they can't ignore it? And I think the crazy thing for me is that if you're talking about it as like a single person, like, you can't get an illness or a sickness or a dis-ease in your body unless you are already sensitive and open to it. So, like, as a culture, but also if the disease, like if elements of the disease aren't already within you. You get what I'm saying? So, like, as a culture, it's like there are certain things that are embedded in our collective ego, our collective psyche, just our collective body that we haven't, nobody talks about. Like, we're passive aggressive. It's a very passive aggressive culture. Like, we're very passive aggressive. You see sex everywhere. From everybody have a conversation about Lil Nas X, every woman MC, like, their sexual, like, everything goes back to sex. And yet, even you think about how much we got, it's just I don't even, all the ways in which our culture runs around that, but we don't have conversations about what those real experiences look like showing up in our lives, and we define ourselves by the things that we have the most trauma and hurt around, because as a culture, the sexual trauma is real. Okay, like, it's real. And this is coming up for me because literally, I mean, I feel like I was just having a conversation with my partner about how people only know how to, we were talking about how people only know how to sometimes feel when it's like through being attracted to something, through feeling something. Like, we only feel things through pleasure. We only make things valid. We only make things real. We only make things worth it through pleasure. If you think about food, you only like a food if you like it. Like, if a food is not your favorite, if it didn't taste bomb, if it wasn't all whatever, then you're not sitting at home like tripping on that food, because we program ourselves to like attach all the other things to it. Like, we have to have the sensation. We just have to have that. Like, and even thinking about stuff that's happening, like, we about to step into Libra season, and Libra energy is Venus. When you think about Venus, you think about Aphrodite, you think about Oshun, you think about all the ways that Venus energy shows up, and it's a sexual energy. Venus is not the fucking housewife. Venus can be the housewife, but like, Venus is like art, beauty, just pure. Okay, like, Venus is like, listen, I'm here to like entice all of you. I'm here to make you be woke and open to all that is, like, and I feel like the thing with our society though is a lot of our stuff again is rooted in trauma, okay? Like, it's rooted in the trauma aspect of it. So even me, I'll just talk about my own story, or even how I'm tying this in. Like, if you think about like sexual trauma, for instance, like, people who experience sexual trauma tend to either become over sexualized or repressed sexually. And I think we talk about sexual trauma, and they be saying YouTube be blocking and all of that. I don't care. I'm gonna just say the words because I don't have time for that. We talk about it on a personalized level, but if you think about it on a cultural level, on a societal level, think about the ways that those things have been kind of embedded into our culture in general, like, and how it's consumed in so many ways, like, and we only know how to acknowledge things though. Wait a minute, the comments is messing up. Y'all get what I'm saying? Somebody tap in the comments. Y'all get what I'm saying? Are y'all feeling where I'm going with this? Are y'all feeling where I'm going with this? But I know I'm like, hello, you guys. I'm very Venus heavy, so I need the affirmation. I can acknowledge it. Like, but it's like we all operating off of trauma, but nobody really wants to talk about the trauma or feel the trauma. And the only way we know to feel the trauma is through pleasure. It's like, and the only way we know to feel is through pleasure. So then we have to step back and look at, is pleasure really pleasure? You know what I'm saying? Is what we have known to call feeling good, feeling pleasurable, is that really it? If the only way we've ever connected to it is through trauma, is through being extreme with it, is through like using it as a vice or a tool, like, and that's the stuff. And that's the stuff that I'm like, those are the conversations that we have to start like having with ourselves, like, how is some of the stuff that, and I feel like my perspective is a little different because I am an American born person living in another country, having to watch and experience from a distance stuff that I am connected to, stuff that I have held on to in my own ways, and then having to see the way as a country, as a world, as a society, as a culture, God, whoever, I don't know what the purpose of the new fraternities and sororities running around, the new Greeks, The Greeks have come back, okay? That's essentially what what the y'all know what I'm talking about. That's essentially what's the name that invited back here. But even you think about Greek culture, think about how people describe Greek culture. That was a time when humanity was kind of, we just was overindulgent. We were greedy. Like, let's just use the right words. Like, there have been times in human societies when we have just been very greedy. Okay. And I think that unfortunately, you and me, us, we have been a part of a new version of that. We have been very greedy with the way that we have been living, with the way that we have been, all of us. You know, some of us way more than others, but like all of us in some ways have like been greedy. And I feel like we have all, this has been humble season. We have been needing to actually sit down and to like face ourselves and to face the true inner root of like the things that have happened in us. Like, and I always go back to sexual trauma because that's something that I have experienced and I have been healing in my own bloodline and in my own experience and in my own community, and trying to like understand and also seeing the ways in which we normalize it. We make it easy. People be so mad, like people up in arms about R. Kelly, the Jeffrey, all of that stuff. People be up in arms, but it's like the way we live in just our family units, we are the actual people working to help keep these things secret or keep them thriving, you know? Like, it's like we are living in a capitalist society, so greed is ingrained in our American experience. Exactly. And we only talk about capitalism when it comes to like material stuff, but we don't talk about how we've been capitalistic in a spiritual way. We don't talk about the ways we've been spiritually greedy. Okay, and coming to God, like, oh, I can't even say it out loud because I'm disgusted. Yuck. Like, how dare we? You, y'all, me, not us. Y'all, not me, but everybody. Everybody. As a culture, we do, exactly. We are enabling our own trauma. And then we only want to pick at it in ways where it's like, if it's not really hurting me or if it's not explained spiritually greedy. Okay, let's see. So that was a good question. I gotta, because I have, it's in my brain. I just gotta find the words to be able to conceptualize it. So when you think about, okay, gratitude. Let's start with gratitude. I feel like that'll be a good frame. So spiritually greedy. We as a culture have a hurting inner child, have a hurting ego. So when you live in a state of ego, you are oftentimes living in a state of lack. You are focusing on what's wrong, what's not there, you know, and I feel like there are ways that the way we live, the way that we practice our faith, the way that we practice our beliefs, we do it in a way to where we still aren't actually practicing gratitude, but aren't actually willing to do the work. Like, it's like we go in, and to me, I feel like that is spiritually greedy. Even if you think about calling on God constantly, but never really being willing to be real about what the root of it is, you know, like never really being able to be real. It's like you still holding on to the shit that you call in the God that you want to let go of. You praying to God that all of this stuff can be changed in the world and this, that, and the other, but then you still making decisions and doing stuff that help to enforce the things that you're asking God to let go of. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's actually the first time I ever said spiritually greedy. I was flowing with it, and in my brain it just makes sense. So I'm like, but I do think as a society, even when you think about putting it to elitists, even when people talk about the Illuminati, they talk about them using systems and cultures and indigenous practices like in ways where it's like the whole world, capitalist systems are run on spiritual principles and spiritual systems. And so it's like we have all been just taking. If you think about the earth, spiritually greedy. Planting, like we take from the earth. We take from the earth more than we give to the earth. We've built all of this stuff. We messing up everything. We throwing off the balance. Like that to me is spiritually greedy. Like we are just in a lot of ways taking more than we're giving, and then the parts that we're giving are fucking inauthentic. They're not real. We're still being delusional about the stuff that really needs to come up, that really needs to heal. Like, so for me, all of this falls under the umbrella of like being spiritually greedy. What did somebody say? We say asking God for stuff but aren't thanking him for what? Yes, it does. But I feel like we do that in all ways, and we do it in very subtle ways. And I've been having to recognize that, like just the ways in which some of the things I'm asking for, I'm not really actually open and available to receive. And for some reasons, because I've chosen to. And so even the audacity of me to ask for things that I have chosen to like resist and reject. It's like, if you can resist and reject, at least shut up while you're doing it. At least be quiet, or at least, you know, keep it to yourself, or at least whatever. But it's like, if you can't be real with yourself about the parts of you like that aren't, you know, and it's, I know it could just sound like, well, don't self-sabotage, but it's like, it's deeper than self-sabotaging. I think when people are actively choosing, I feel like in a lot of ways that is people calling on death. That is people choosing to like, it's a kind of hopelessness. It's kind of, I don't know, it is a lack of awareness, but sometimes though that is when a lack of awareness becomes a choice though, it's like, what is that really? That's when I have to get into, no, that's you. I'm like, that's the devil. I don't be knowing no nicer way to say stuff. More of a lack of will, yes. But then thinking about what a lack of will, willingly ignorant. But the thing is, that's all of the stuff that y'all are saying is exactly what it is. I think this season that we're in, God is just asking us like to pick or choose. Are you going to commit to that, or are you going to shift it and do something different? Like, we are all as a people being called. Like, I'm saying God, it's like your families, yourself, your inner child, like every aspect. The earth is saying, please, bro, please, like, or just get out of my way and chill. Like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, I think there's just the aspect of us as a people that have just, we resist being human so much that now it really is starting to cause harm. You know, like, it's caused harm a lot in a lot of ways. And it does go back to me to what the pleasure conversation. I ain't want to say too much because I really want to make a video. I want to make a whole series, and I want to call it predator culture, because I think we live in a culture that feeds that. Like, a lot of stuff that we know is built up on this predatory energy, you know, like, even, and that's why I feel like stuff like art and say, even how you think about how artists are the ones that they can use people to manipulate, because that creative energy, even thinking about chakras, when we talk about sexual energy, the sexual energy is created to the creative energy. It's the life force energy, chi, you know, ka, whatever you call it, like ashe, like whatever that power, you know, you want to call it, like that energy is. Ooh, just saying those words, I was just like, hey, yes, I feel good. But that energy is all connected. And so it's very easy for that to be the energy that we use to manipulate ourselves away from God. And it's like, we have to humble ourselves. We have to be real with ourselves about the way we engage in those energies, about the way we help it to become perverted, you know, like the ways, and I say it comes perverted because of the trauma, you know, like, it's like, even think about artists. If you got artists who are hella depressed, who are hella sad, hella negative, then normally they put out hella like that sound of music. You know, their music just feels that way. They just can't help it. And it's like, to some people, it's like, that's not bad, but it's like, if that's all you ever only put out, like, if that's not just the season, then it's like, how is that helping? You know, like, even if people, I think, people forget that we need to see each other grow too. Yes, predator culture. I want to do it because that's shit. I don't know, like the sexual trauma that I've had to, and just incest. And YouTube, if you probably, I don't know. I don't really know if it's real that they don't be, because I don't be having no problems with YouTube. And I'm going to just keep saying that. We ain't got no beef YouTube, so my bad if I'm dropping all the words that y'all don't like people to talk about. But that's my point, though. We gotta stop. Like, if people talked about it in ways that weren't fucking disgusting, and us having conversations and us admitting the ways that stuff is laced in our culture, there's no getting away from it. It is laced in our culture. And until we can actually start having real conversations about that stuff, it's going to keep affecting and like bleeding into our lives in all the ways, it's, I don't know, y'all. I do know, but also I don't know. I just feel like the only ways that we can, this is the time, like even thinking about Virgo season. Virgo energy is definitely the energy of the routine, the entire adult entertainment. It's exactly. Hi, new here. Oh, hey. I don't know how to say, is it Aradia? Hi, sugar. Welcome, cousin. Yes, Tabby, happy birthday, Virgo gang, 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 gang. I'm not a Virgo, but gang, 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 gang. But what? You a Libra. But yes, for the Virgo energy. Even when you think about Virgo season though, Virgo energy is considered the virgin. Virgo is also, it represents the human. Like when you put all 12 signs like in a row and like how their energy plays with each other, like Virgo represents like the human energy. Like, and so even when you think about virgin, not in the context that we know it through like crazy who are beginners in alchemy. Have you read The Alchemist? Have you read The Alchemist? Read The Prophet by Khalid Gabriel. I think that's his name. The Alchemist and the Prophet is my first two books. Because true alchemy for me is learning to read between the lines even. So those are good books to help start you. But I'll think of some more. I love books. I'm gonna have a library one day. But anyway, Virgo season, the virgin energy, it's the pure energy. It's not necessarily, because I don't even want to use the word virgin, because the ways we know virgin, again, predator culture. We live in a perverted society, so even the ways we know shit is just hella extreme and hella like, why do you got to be like that? And we don't even recognize that. Like we don't recognize the ways we help it push that agenda forward. Like all the ways. But Virgo energy is to me routine. It's ritual. Ritual is routine. Like when people make it seem like ritual only, they think of people cutting chickens and doing crazy stuff, but it's like ritual is your routine. Ritual is like the ability to be able to wake up and be like, I'm flowing. I haven't finished The Alchemist, but yes. But get The Prophet. The Prophet is a good one. And it's very short, but it's a good one. And I don't know, tell me, what's your cultural background? Because I also, if you're trying to wake up to alchemy is transmuting, and if you're transmuting and you transmute on the energetic level, even thinking about this energy I'm talking about, like, we have to transmute the shit that's in our bones, that's in our families, that's in our DNA, that's in our blood. Like, that's what we have to transmute first. So even just look into like your culture and like finding like the spiritual and the metaphysical parts of your, yes. So it's like, it's about being able to do that. And that first begins with like your healing journey and like your connection to like growing into a more authentic and a whole version of yourself. Because to me, to be healed is to be whole, to be able to be a whole person, and operate in that, like, and be grounded in that. And be able to share that with others too, because it's one thing to like, knowledge is nothing if it's not applied. So even you can do the work for yourself, but if you get around other people and all the work go out the window, you ain't doing the work, because it's how you apply it. Okay. But no, so Virgo energy teaches us routine. Virgo energy teaches us, I got a dog, y'all. Nala, is you stuck? She's stuck. I can't help you. Baby, the dog tangled. I can't do it. I can't. I'm gonna have to shut the door. She barking. She gonna have to learn today. Y'all been here for 29 minutes and I ain't sung nothing. Yeah. Y'all gonna get these ad libs, okay? But Virgo energy for me, it's not even discipline, because when people hear discipline, they think Saturn, and discipline sounds scary. But it's like getting up, brushing your teeth, washing your face, eating food. That's a part of your ritual. Like your ritual is the very subtle things you do, how you have conversations with your body, like the things you put on your body, the things you put in your body, like the times a day that you put stuff in your body. Like we don't have ritual, you know, like and routine. And those are the things that help us to transmute this energy and to like face the energy and to look the energy in the eye and be able to let it go. Like, so I love Virgo season, but I feel like in order to do that, you have to be real with yourself. You know, like if you want to get up and make a schedule for yourself, but you're lying to yourself about what you actually do every day, then you making a schedule. It's not going to be, you know, like you might want to make an agenda and be like, okay, I'm going to exercise 3 times a week and I'm going to blah, 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 and I'm going to do this and I'm about to eat this way. And it's like, maybe instead of trying to put it that way, you need to first say, I'm going to get up and I'm going to just take a walk. I'm going to go walk outside 3 times a week. I'm going to go engage movement in my bodies. I'm just going to invite ritual is, to me, ritual is something you're enjoying. It's something that is like refreshing. It's something that feels good to do. You know, like, you know, to me, discipline is more of a, I don't know, discipline, I feel like discipline is what happens. Discipline is the result. People say like, I want to be disciplined. And it's like, discipline is the end goal. You become disciplined through ritual. You get what I'm saying? Like you become disciplined through routine, but you're not just disciplined. So you saying you want to be disciplined, you're never going to get there. You know, you have to actually look at your ritual, look at your, what am I saying to myself every day? What am I saying to other people? What am I putting in my body? What am I watching? What am I listening to? You know, like what am I condoning? Like that's the stuff that you really have to start looking at in order to shift. And for me as a person who, again, it all goes back. This all ties in, even me thinking about the predatory energy. I am a person who, as a child, I was molested by family members. You know, like I experienced stuff like that. And in my own personal journey, even me getting these nails done, I have been learning to be okay with being beautiful. Thinking about Libra energy, Venus energy. I was talking about like all these energies. These energies, we only know them through trauma. We only know them through like, yes, Aphrodite, I did say is lust and all of that stuff, but it's like when you only know that stuff through trauma though, it's probably gonna be bad. And I think we have to admit as a culture and a people, we only know this stuff through trauma. So our definition of it, how we relate to it, how we connect to it is a little off, you know? And so like again, I think I'm pretty. I think I'm attractive. You feel me? Like if I get, you know, I got these locks. These locks really do make me just, it sets the tone. But like y'all don't want to see me really like, ooh, okay, take your man and your girlfriend too. Okay. Sorry, I just had to feel myself. I'm an Aries. Just chill. Just chill. Just let me feel myself for 5 seconds. I'll snap out of it. I'm humble though, okay? But I feel like I've had to learn how to not associate beauty with my trauma, with being a little girl that people were looking at and it's like, oh, she's so pretty, she's so this, but also me associating me being pretty would give them having the permission to be able to do whatever they wanted with me or to take advantage of me or to, you know, overstep boundaries that they shouldn't have, especially when it's older people, you know, because I did as a child experience being molested by an older adult, you know, like by somebody who really ain't have no business, you know, like, and so when we have stuff like that ingrained in our families, ingrained in our experiences, ingrained in our culture, and we don't realize the only way I know being pretty, the only way I know being beautiful, the only way I know being desirable or being this is also laced and connected to this type of energy. It's like, that's when we have to really be clear about our rituals and be clear about what it is that we're doing and what it is that we're pouring into ourselves. Because how do I describe it? I'm still trying to use my experience because this is what my fasting and stuff has been making me bring up. Like I have to actively like be aware of like and maybe the awareness, I have to lose some of the awareness, you know, but like I've had to, because I've been healing this, but I've had to actively be aware about the ways in which the moments that I'm choosing to be flirty, or the moments that I'm choosing to do this. And it's like, even when you think about all the people who just go have casual sex, and it's like, what were you thinking about before you went and did that? What were you feeling, you know? And I think the crazy thing about this panini that we're in right now is that people haven't had been able to have those experiences. Like, even, and I know Instagram, like, I'm talking about my life. Like, I know it's very easy for people on Instagram and all these people that's just out still looking like they whatever, you know, but I feel like there is an aspect of the larger culture and the larger society where people don't get to go move and socialize in the ways that they used to, you know, like even probably having one night, if y'all out there, is y'all out there still getting one night stands and just having casual sex and just, is it still easy? Because I'm not judging y'all if you are, maybe a little bit. But not enough to like form an opinion about you. I'm just like, are y'all still doing that in the ways that the world is right now? But like, I feel like even you think about art, I know a lot of artists and performers who are geniuses with their shit but can't connect with people because they've even used, because again, creation, that's that creative energy. Even being an artist, like you're still connecting to that sexual energy, to that sacral chakra energy, you know. So like, even again, even what I was saying earlier about how they utilize artists and entertainers to set the tone for those conversations, to be the people who teach us those things. Like, if you look at the ways people utilize that stuff as a distraction and as a way to not feel, as a way, even that goes back to being spiritually greedy. You know, like a culture that's fucking so over consumed in art, but don't actually use none of that stuff for healing. Don't actually use none of that stuff to transmute all of this energy and sickness and disease that we have in our societies. Like, again, taking it back to indigenous cultures, shamans were the healers. Like, shamans were using instruments, sound, things like that in order to heal disease. Like, they still do. You know, think about that drum. Taking it back to my Pentecostal church. When we get that, okay, like that's why people would catch the Holy Ghost, because that drum was tapping on some ancient ancestral part of them that needed to remember. Brought that out. That dun 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 dun. Y'all silly. Y'all silly. Y'all is silly. Oh, I missed y'all. I don't judge, but casual sex is not for me. I need to have a mental connection first. I used to tell people, if you ain't never seen a person cry, you shouldn't be having sex with them. If you have sex with a person before you see them cry, even I know, like, I mean, obviously kissing and stuff, but I'm like, if you haven't actually seen a person be like break down, like show, and not in some crazy way, like they done just beat your ass and now they crying, like not in that type of way, cousin. Okay, not in that type of way. You want to let that alone, okay? But I do feel like more people, if they thought like that, then like I don't know, like I think there is a way we could live in a world where like sex didn't have to have the yes, true vulnerability. I feel like it sounds scary to us to not be moved by shit. Like for sex to be the only way that we're moved. You know, like I think we're even thinking about Aquarius energy, thinking about just my partner definitely did inspire a lot of this conversation, because I told him I was like, I'm about to go live. Then they just kept talking, and I was like, but I can't stop because it was a good conversation. My baby is deep, but just thinking about the ways we only know stuff through pleasure. It just all ties back. It's even taking me back to the Leo energy. It's like we only know stuff through pleasure. You know, we only know if we like somebody if there's a sexual attraction. Like that is the thing that people normally say. It's like and it's like, if I don't know, like I'm not saying we need to get rid of sex. I like sex. Again, my astrologically, even though I be whatever, for some reason healing techniques are hidden in today's culture. You have to learn to be your own healer. Exactly, and we need to be our own healers. I just feel like there are ways in which we're still hiding. We haven't been deep, and not that deep. Not that deep, because I know we having a conversation. Y'all got nasty minds. But I'm talking about how deep is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn. I sing this all the time. Cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down, when they all should let us be. Thought I was gonna mess up. We belong to you and me. That's what I'm talking about. How deep is your love? How deep is your spirit? Like, I feel like the world is calling us to like love deeper and to feel stuff on a level that's more spiritual, to feel stuff on a level that's more really from the heart. Like, if we only could, if all we had to was rely on our hearts and our spirits as a way to connect. Like, what if none of it? What if we couldn't even have sex? Like, what if sex? What if there was a point where humans reached a place where they didn't need to reproduce anymore, and we just didn't even do that? But we could still be in relationships. We could still do stuff. We still need human connections. Like, animals are animals. Like, animals roll in packs, even if it's one or two. Like, you always see an animal, unless they're just really, I know there's some of them that they get together and they become like locusts. Like, once locusts, like by themselves, they're cool. But once they come together, they really are a problem. Like, but I feel like mental and spiritual connection. Exactly. And see, those are the most beautiful things. And then when it happens, it just happens. But I think for a lot of us, it's scary to think of a world or a life where like we didn't have, like, we're like, I don't know. I just feel like we're coming in a time where it's like pleasure really is what you make it. And you have to find pleasure in new things. And I think part of us finding pleasure in new things is a part of us practicing getting deeper in our spirituality, which takes me back to being spiritually greedy. I don't think we realize how much we don't practice gratitude, how much most of us aren't actually really grateful for our breath. Because if you were grateful for your breath, then your breath would be all you need. You wouldn't need anything outside of your body. You wouldn't need anything outside of the fact that I'm fucking breathing. I'm alive. And that's not enough for any of us. Like, and I'm an artist, so I'm speaking to myself because I'm like, shit, I'm like, I want luxury, I want it all. So I've been having to really face the fact, like, God, am I really coming to my prime during an apocalypse? Like, do I not get to, like, you know, I'm a hood nigga. Okay, I was not like for real, but I'm like, I was a housing project baby, like born in the 90s, like legit lived in a housing project. Like, ain't nobody in my family like buku rich, like not even rich to my knowledge. If they do, they ain't talking to me, you know. So like everything when, and that's why I started this YouTube, even to just because I'm going somewhere and I'm like, and I want to show, I'm like, I'm getting it out the mud, you know, like, and a lot of us are having to like go that, get back to basics with everything from love to pleasure to all the stuff. And it's like, there is just a way in which we are kind of just still resisting and still fighting. And you know, that's why I've been fasting. I literally, my purpose with my fast have been to get out of my own way. I'm just like, God, I'm fasting to get out of my own way. I can do nothing but just continue to empty myself because I'm so full of it. You know, like, and I want to be more full of like myself in an authentic way, you know, and not just full of this stuff I've been holding on to and carrying. I think that's what is being called out of all of us. Even as we step into, I feel like there's going to be a season coming where we are going to need to kind of pop out a little more. Like, you know, hermit mode ain't just going into complete isolation, because we do, it's age of Aquarius. We have to find different ways to utilize community, to be a part of community, to engage community, to build community, to grow community. We have to get back to a tribal aspect, or like tribal living like 2.0, or, you know, like the next generation, like whatever. Like, even thinking about technology, we only look at technology when we're looking at material things that we're creating, but we really do need to come together and collectively start putting effort into upgrading our technology as humans, our spiritual systems, our all of our systems, every system within your body, like, you know. And I don't know, I just feel like there's tons of ways that we just people be stuck, and I've been trying to get unstuck, and that's why I be fasting, y'all. I really do fast to get out of my own way. Sometimes fasting for me is like I'm about to cry just saying, like, it really be my only way to surrender and to be like, I can see the ways in which I am that conditioned, that programmed, that still stuck in my ways, that still holding on to stuff. Even how they used to say that the saying, you want your cake and you want to eat it too, and people be so mad at that because it's like it don't make sense, but it's like it does make sense. If you eat the cake, you won't have any more cake. So you can't have a cake and eat the cake. You got to pick. Do you want the cake or do you want to eat the cake? You know? And it's like, so I've been recognizing the ways in which I've been trying to have my cake and eat it too. I've been trying to rise to the top, but also still have a crazy relationship with my fucking shadows. Like, you know, I've been trying to listen. Exactly. Yeah. And shout out to the people who are teaching people how to become their own healers, because and who are really teaching like what God is teaching, because there's a lot of, this is the time, the scammers are loud, the false prophets are fucking shiny. It's like it's a lot of, so I just be low key. I be low key and not Loki, like Loki from Avengers, but I be low key, okay? But I don't know. I feel like there's going to come a season when it's time to shine, but that shine has to look different. It has to come for a more integrated place, a place that like where you have explored the duality of yourself and you have like integrated that into some balance, you know, like where we can honor our shadows and honor our dark parts, but not do it in a way where we're still trying to hold on to the bullshit aspect of it. I guess it's like, you know, there's a lot of people who say they doing the shadow work, but it's like you researching the shadow. You've been having conversations with your demons, but you ain't been telling them to go. You ain't been putting them in a place. You ain't been like doing the shadow work. Isn't just like, it's how you apply it. Knowledge is nothing if not applied. It's like, yes, you went and you found out all these dark parts of yourself. You went and you did all of this, but when you get around people, if the shit is still there, you don't know how to operate now, then it's like you're not doing the work. You are not doing the work, and we haven't been, you know. And so I don't know. It's just this Virgo season. This is the time to like whatever you've been lying to yourself about. This is one of those moments where your parent is like, if you tell me now, you won't get in trouble. Okay, just tell me now, and I ain't gonna whoop your ass, all right, or give you a pow pow, or put you in timeout. However you discipline your children, okay. But I feel like this is one of those moments, and some of us are still trying not to just tell the truth. Okay, and if you tell the truth, then it's gonna get easier. Stuff will get lighter, okay. But if you, I'm about to subscribe. Shoot, Mellow Vibes, okay. Shoot. But y'all get what I'm saying though? I don't know. I just really have been over here. I see, like, I've been trying to really understand what it means to be in the world and not like of the world, but also understanding that sometimes that means having to say some stuff and feel some stuff and talk about stuff, and that people ain't willing to, you know. And I don't know. We live in this predator culture. If y'all see anybody on YouTube, try to, because that's literally, I'm doing the whole series on that. So if y'all see somebody do it before me, y'all heard it here first. Not really, because, well, no, I did look it up, and it's not a lot of people who's on the way, because I feel like people are afraid to talk about it the way it needs to be talked about. People shallow, okay? People are still afraid to not be liked, and that is what I have been healing in myself, is really having to be okay with people not liking me, but then having to also be like, but who is people? And that's when I have to recognize, like, the real people, the people like our neighbors, like the real people, the real community, you know, like those people always are going to recognize real. But it's like when we're trying to like, when people are the Joneses, when people are the industries, when people are trying to like fans and shit, because it's like even trying to be an artist, it's like trying to make sure, let me make sure I'm likable, let me make sure people like my songs, let me make sure. So I don't have time for all of that, and I've really been having to recognize that this is the world we are living in. Even with this I don't know what to call it. I got my word for the deltas and the you know, the fraternities and stuff. But even with them trying to make people get the you know, that little, you know, they're trying to, you know, do YouTube, see if you can do motions. Anyway, that thing. I feel like my thing with that is it's not, how do I even word this? How do I even put this? Because I don't want to get into like whether I'm judging people. Like, I feel like people should be able to have their opinions. I think the fact that people are so easily persuaded to want to condemn people for not doing something is the real issue. Like, we talk a lot about the government, we talk a lot about whatever, but a lot of times when like people are getting stoned, a lot of times when like elements of culture that we should be letting go of, like, and we aren't, like, when that stuff comes up, it usually is because we, the people, like, we kind of, we, I'm stumbling over my words because I'm trying to be politically correct, and I understand that. And which, for me, what I've learned, because I'm a recovering undercover overlover, is that me being politically incorrect is, again, me trying not to hurt people's feelings or trying not to say something that I'm like, oh, people are gonna like me, or they're gonna be like, oh, what this bitch, you know, like, and that's me. I'm a human. I'm learning. I'm growing. You know, I'm aware of my shit, but I feel like people, you got conscious people online talking about stuff, and then you got people who are just so caught up in there, like, we just have to do this because we're doing it. And then everybody is a sheep. It's like whether you the conscious person, like, and people aren't realizing how we're all falling for being the sheep. Because even if you wanted to get the shot, you should still stand in like solidarity with the people who don't. And not because, not in a way to where you're like enabling, but in a way of like, it's us against the systems though. Like, this is also a thing that they're using to divide us as a people. And it's like, we as a culture, we aren't emotionally intelligent enough, like, to know how to like disagree with somebody and not just be able to like want to, you know, fucking go send them to a concentration camp or something like that, because that's what the extremes of us do. That's what the government does. That's what the stuff that represents us, like we the people and they the government, and they're different, but it's like we've chosen them, we let them represent us, even in the ways we let them wage war against us, you know. Like, and the ways we let them convince us to wage war against each other. Y'all get what I'm saying? I know it probably feel like this somewhere all over the place, child. It's all connected. It's all connected, okay? I don't know. Now's the time for you to be again. You need to start getting real with yourself. Start picking and choosing your battles wisely, for real. Because I don't know. I feel like there's some elevation coming, and it really is when I think about all this stuff. Is the dog, she want to come in here? Hold on, let me see. No. Okay. She like, if you don't open this door. Okay. I don't know. Y'all, it's Virgo season, so detox, cleanse, fast, get clear. Okay. Tell the truth. Be real with yourself. Set yourself up. Like, stop acting like you don't see what's happening in the world around us. Stop acting like you don't see what God is calling out of us. And know that does not mean that there has to be destruction, and it has to be sadness, and it has to be like you should want to, it is a gift to take care of yourself. Like, you should want to take care of yourself. You should want to nourish yourself. You should want to feed yourself. You should want to pour into yourself. That should not, even when you think about the self-care movement and all this, like, all of that, like, it shouldn't be a movement. That should be a ritual. That should be like a dud. That should be like some stuff. There shouldn't be this big, fancy, glamorous allure around it, because it's like, duh, that's what you should do as a human. Like, obviously you should like maintain your emotional intelligence. Obviously you should like whatever. Like, obviously you should do these things. You shouldn't get a fucking cookie for like being alive and for like, you know, y'all get what I'm saying? Do y'all get what I'm saying? All I'm saying is keep hope alive, okay? Keep hope alive. And I'm thinking about doing a community fast, like where we like, and you know, or I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. Like, I was thinking maybe doing a group, like starting a group where we fast, and because I was gonna just do it like a one time thing, but then maybe it's like maybe we should fast, once a week together, like collectively and all be. But then I was also thinking about maybe hosting a meditation or something, or doing something like during the fast to like help people, to bring us together, but also to help just cultivate that energy of like release and stuff. I don't know. What do y'all think about that? But obviously, y'all would be the ones that I would share it with. And I was trying to make it as basic as possible, but then I feel like I should get a group together, make a page or something. So I might charge like $5 or $10 for the group thing. But if it's like a monthly thing, that's not really that bad. But I was thinking about that, like, especially if I'm a host stuff and like, cause I would do the most. I would go all out. I know I'm saying all of this stuff. What's obvious is unfortunately not so for many people. Just like, listen, common sense is not common, and people actually run from having to have common sense. Like, people don't even know what common sense is, even though we say that word all the time. Like, I couldn't even tell you the definition. I know what it is innately. Like, I know what it is, like from here. But I'm like, I feel like I couldn't tell you a definition because I don't think I've ever seen people agree on what a definition is. So I've just had to come up with you know, my own understanding of it and understanding. But I don't know, these times, like, even saying words like we live in an apocalypse. The apocalypse doesn't have to be terrible though. Like, this doesn't have to be crazy time. And I think that's also what I'm trying to, like, I guess, expressed through even me saying being spiritually greedy and us not really recognizing what real gratitude looks like. And even if us just be like, like, I don't know, like, it's okay to want more, it's okay to hope for more, it's okay, but it's like your spirit, like, you just tell your spirit what you want, let it go. But it's your job to just practice real gratitude, like, to allow yourself to do I do tours? In Belize. Okay, here's the thing. This is my home. Like, I love Belize. And I love the way Belize has, like, welcomed me. And it ain't been it ain't for no help. It's a jungle. Like, it ain't no help. Like, it's definitely done grown me up. And I tell everybody, like, I don't have no expat experience, okay? I have a refugee immigrant experience, even for the ways I'm motivated coming here. Like, even how I'm, like, having to get it, like, started from the bottom. Like, like, I didn't come here with a bunch of money saved. So I feel like I don't want to exploit this place. Like, and I do feel like a lot of people come here and the tourist culture is so very embedded in the culture that it, like, I don't know, it's just very easy. Yeah, so I wouldn't call it a tour, but I'm like, if somebody came and wanted me to, like, hang out with them and tell them my experience in Belize and, like, and take them some places and shit like that, yes, like, and I am going to do stuff like that in the future. My connection to the people here and my relationship and building an honest one is more important to me. So that way, when it is time for me to do stuff like that, I can do something that is, like, benefiting the people of Belize, and not just the economy, but, like, uplifting the people even to the place where they can be the ones that's shifting their economy, like, versus just because it's very easy for people to travel and they just become colonizers, especially Americans, like, and even Black Americans. We go other places and we very easily just become colonizers, or we become consumers in a way that, like, because we're from America, we've had access to that energy in different ways. Like, even though America is a third world country in its own way, we have so much stuff to be in alignment with everything that I've been talking about in this. Like, we have pleasure and instant gratification everywhere. So it is just easy for us to go places and, like, but in the future, I am going to do stuff where I bring people here and I share Belize with them my way. But I probably would never call it a tour, just because I'm like, nah, like, we could have a hood exchange or something. I could take you chill with the homies. We could go and, like, have a whatever. I got friends here who are Belizeans who do tours. And, like, if you wanted a tour, then I would definitely connect you with them, like, so that, but if you wanted me, though, to do something like that, if I know I done got caught up on the word and the semantics, but that has been a big thing to chew. Is just recognizing the way privilege shows up in all the ways, the ways we carry privilege, the way we create privilege, the way, just all the ways, and just the ways in which we're programmed in so many deep rooted ways and don't even have any awareness or connection to it, like traveling. And before I came to Belize, like I want to travel. Like I want to go everywhere. But I literally came to Belize. I was here for I think a year, and then you know, the the thing came. The panoramic popped around, and so. But me coming to Belize was my first time ever leaving the country, like to another country. I used to go to Canada when I was a little kid, but I never counted that because I'm like, if you could get to Canada from Detroit, that's still too close to America. Okay, we was here for months before before the shit like really got you, like we was on lockdown, and lockdown here in Belize when it first went around, there was times when we couldn't even leave the house. Like Sundays, I know, like nobody could be out. Like nobody could be out. If you even went outside to even go to the store, like that was a problem. And our curfew was at like 4. Even to this day, Belize still has curfew. That's why I'm like watching America. I'm like, we have had no choice on how to move, and just seeing where people have more choices, but sometimes how those choices become again like, are these the battles you should be picking if you're looking at the bigger scheme of everything? But when we came here, it was like I thought I was gonna travel and go to other places, but it was also my first time really leaving the country. And so my first time leaving the country, not only did I leave, but I moved to another country, and then a fucking global lockdown happened. And so for me, this has been like, whoa, man, like like it really has been like nothing is the same, and even the reason why I started talking about the the emotional stuff and even relating everything back to the trauma we experienced collectively is because I've been looking at everybody trying to go back to normal and been telling myself I'm not like everybody in that way, because it's like there's really no way to go back to normal. I can't, like, it hasn't been normal for me in a while, but I haven't been realizing the ways in which, even when you think about the stuff that's been happening on the cultural level, like even I mentioned the sexual stuff because it's like from Bill Cosby to R. Kelly to the fucking Jeffrey Einstein, is it Einstein, whatever, I should know. The stuff that's been coming up just culturally, the topics that have been coming up, okay? It's like even stuff like that. We cannot go back to normal. We cannot see that this is a thing that is a reoccurring theme in our culture, and like just keep walking around like it's like all of the things that we're trying to go back to normal with and be delusional with. Like, and we learn that as children. We learn that in so many ways. Just it's in our families. It's like it's time for the people to start, like the people even thinking about what it means to tear down systems. Like we only looking at it like, oh, we're gonna tear down systems and build up new ones. But it's like now it's the time where the people have to come to their own reckoning with like, why have the system sustained this long? And I think we forget that that is a part of the systems coming down. Is first off is also us having to take accountability for why the systems have been around, why they've been able to operate, who has been really putting the systems in place. The presidents and them, they work for the systems, but it's like, who's really been holding the systems in place, like, and how is this literally laced in all that we do, like, and so being in Belize for me, I don't know, like now, our curfew is at 9 o'clock. My next vlog that I'm dropping, which is a continuation from my fasting vlog, I went to the city to get my nails done, and we didn't get back home in time for curfew. So we wound up having to sleep in our friend's art space. Luckily, we have friends with an art space who, like, we could freaking sleep there because, but if we didn't, we probably would have been in jail or, like, somewhere crazy, like. So even when people be, I don't know, it has just been crazy. I'm like, the world just look. Oh man, so much trouble in the world. There is so much trouble in the world. Yeah. That's how I be feeling, y'all. And I just burst into random songs like, oh, I've been on here for an hour. Hey, look at us. It has been crazy restrictions. The thing is, I feel like I personally have been trying not to think about, the what's another name I can give it? Because I don't want to say the word, but what is it? Y'all come up with something crazy. We got to give Auntie Rona a different nickname. But I feel like if I don't know, I feel like how do I say this? I don't know. It must not be meant to be said because it's slipping my thoughts. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. It's just interesting. I just feel like this time is just so fragile, and the humans are the fragile part of it. Like this time is so very, it's so very. Mm-hmm. And I guess for me, it stresses me out, but I've been here so long that it is the norm. So it is kind of like we've had curfew since the first lockdown. Now they've changed the hours. Like again, I told you at one point it was like 3, 4 o'clock. Like, and there was some days where again we couldn't go out. I remember when it first happened, we didn't even leave our village. The taxi drivers wouldn't even take you to like town, like, and we lived in a village outside of San Ignacio, which our village had one store, like no fresh food, no produce stalls, no none of that, like, and so even just like talk about a food desert, you know what I'm saying, like even though you're like living in a lush place like with all of this shit, like, but for that first like month or two we couldn't even leave. Like there was times when because of the part of the village that we lived on, we couldn't even just go to the store because we would have to walk past the police station and the police would be like, y'all don't need to go to the store. You could. I started crossing the river, y'all. Like I was fucking in like slave times. Like I gotta get the freedom. I hope they don't see me out here on the road. Like I was fucking crossing the river just so I could go sneak and go to the store or go to get other stuff that I don't need to say in here. But I don't know, but also I feel like if Miss Rona really is all that they say it is, then it's like why can't we as a culture just instead why like we hold on to our desires and our things so much that is the reason why we can't just sit down even if it wasn't a lockdown. If the government actually did help people and it was like, hey you guys, we're just gonna have to have a year of like we're just all kind of gonna chill, we're gonna restart stuff, we're gonna get the whatever, like if it just had to be a collective, like we all being sat down and we all just need to chill, like, you know. And so I feel like being in Belize because of just the way it's not America, like it's a different country, and even the way stuff moves here. Even thinking about it, I'm like, we got curfew, but to be honest, before the curfew, shit be closed at fucking 8, 9 o'clock here. Like when we was living in the village, you gotta cook your own food. Don't be trying to go out trying to find food. Like nobody's open, okay? The stores closed, they close. Like so now the only thing is you just can't go out at night. But before it was still hard. When we lived in our village, people would invite us places and we would try to go to the events. But the taxi drivers in the village all worked the same hours. They didn't take shifts, okay? Everybody worked when the sun was up, and then when it's time for dinner, I'm going home. And if you want a taxi, you're gonna have to get a taxi from town. But the difference from that is a taxi from town would have cost me $20, and a taxi from the village would have cost me $30. But if I ain't trying to spend all my money, especially if the money is coming in, because again, started from the bottom and we get in there, okay? We ain't all the way there, but we started from the bottom and we get in there, okay? Y'all be the first to know when we make it, all right? But like, so stuff like that just kind of made us already move in a certain way, you know? And so even now I'm looking at it and it's like, and the virus has spread different here. Like it has been in, because it's a smaller country, obviously when numbers get even to the thousands, they be feeling like, oh my God. But it's like, also it's a tourism. It's like they also have opened the borders back up and they let people in. So it's like, and there's also people here who be whatever. But I feel like if they didn't have a tourist economy, the cases probably would even be cut in half. Because it's like, how are these variants that weren't here even getting here? It's because people are coming here. Like, so there is a way that us having curfew and us whatever that did help. Like it did. Like we've been wearing masks since it started. Like, and I don't mean like it's like suggested, like this mandatory mask, like since lockdown started. If the police see you without a mask on, you going to jail, or they gonna find you, or they gonna take a picture of you. Or like one time we was out after curfew and just accidentally, a couple minutes, the police took a picture of us and was like, if we see you again, like, And that was in the very beginning, you know, like, I don't know. It is just some stuff where it's like, I don't believe in controlling people. I don't believe in like brainwashing people, but I also just feel like the ways I feel like the stuff we think is brainwashing us ain't brainwashing us, and the stuff that we should be whatever, like we not. I just feel like everything is like we just delusional. We have a delusional culture, okay, and like we don't see the ways in which self-sabotage is sometimes the stuff that we choose that we think is liberating us. It's like, you know, like, and it's like that's just not liberating you. Like, you're actually holding on to the stuff that you should let go of, you know. Even when you think about, because I said how ritual and routine is the thing that gets you to discipline, but like people, I don't know, like I don't know, y'all. I got so many thoughts. They're all just running through my head like nonstop. But I feel like if I had been experiencing the panoramic in the States, I don't know. I don't know. I would have been mad at people because I feel like people are choosing chaos. People are choosing angst. People are choosing all to not heal, all to not change. Even if it's not about healing, because I know even the word healing probably annoys people now with the way new age people be and all of that. But like change is here. Like that's it. Forget the healing word. Think of Aquarius energy. Aquarius is change whether you like it or not. Like change is here. Change been here. We've been needing a change in the way we live, in the way we eat, in the way we communicate, in the way we love, in the way we relate to each other. We have been needing to change. Like we have been forcing change in some ways, bullshit and change in other ways, and now it's like change is just here. Period. And so it's like, how are we? Are you going? Not even how. Are you gonna step into it or not? Are you gonna step into it or not? Are you gonna do it or not? Or not? Or not? No. I'll be cracking myself up. I don't know. It's just like some of the stuff is just like, yo, these are all the ways that we refuse to change. These are all the ways that we like throw tantrums as humans as a way to not have to evolve. Exactly. Even when you think about the energy of change, that's like just that Oya energy, okay? That's that Kali Ma energy, okay? You see Kali Ma, she got the fucking head in her hand with a sword, like, hello, you know, like, it's not a, it's like, it's, I don't know, I just think because humans are so, we are the advanced species, apparently, you know, which if the aliens make it out the water in time to be or wherever they coming from. I feel like the aliens is probably living in all the crevices. They live in the sky. Or I was talking to my neighbor about the whole flat Earth thing, and you know, I don't think the Earth is flat. I don't think the Earth is round. I just think the Earth is a portal, or like even a firmament. That's the perfect word. They use the perfect word. I think it's a firmament. I really do think it's that. Even how they saying like you're creating your own reality. I think it could make sense that we're all just kind of in a firmament dome somewhere, just projecting our reality, like the Matrix. Like we all just, you're not really sitting here watching me. Like we're actually somewhere in incubators with little things. They're like plugged into the sky somewhere. Like who knows? Who it's the age of Aquarius, y'all. But for real, change is here. Like we really do have to reimagine. Like 1, 1, 2, 3, 3. Yes, my number 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, a song. Always see those numbers, but change is, and not even change. 1, 2, 3, 4. You cannot skip a step. That angel number is always about 1 has to come first. 2 comes then. You can't get to 2. I mean, you can't get to 4 unless you do 2 and 3. Like you have to. We have to. We can't keep skipping the steps. And I just really want y'all to sit back and like ask yourself, like, what is some stuff that I'm still doing and participating in that is me also kind of like, this is the way I've been resisting change. This is the way that I've been secretly like holding on to whatever and not really wanting to see something different because I'm either not trusting my own capacity or because I'm fearful. I really think fear is a real thing right now. Like I feel like that's the whole root of this ease that is running around. It's fear of ourselves, fear of change, just fear, you know. But even thinking about, again, taking it back to predatory culture, taking it back to a predatory energy. In order for a predator to have power, the person who they are like preying over has to be fearful, you know, like it all ties in and everything is spiritual. It all makes sense to me, y'all. I don't know. Somebody say amen in the comments if it makes sense. Somebody say Ashe. Somebody give me a yes, Lord, something. I need something in the comments. Yes, Ashe. Ache, 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 oh. Ache, 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 oh. Ache, 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 oh. Yes, if you scared, go to church. Yes, Lord. And I got my yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. We're going to listen to Anderson .Paak. I'm grateful for you, Tabitha. I've been meaning to reach out, but girl, I've been over here, not going through it, but I've been like really like, okay, God, I think this is one of those moments. This is going to be one of those pinnacle moments when we all look back and be like, damn, if only in 2020 and 2021 had I decided to get the fuck out of my way and stop using everything in the world as a distraction from the fact that I was just a basic human who didn't want to grow out of being basic. Even if I was pretty, even if I was whatever, even talented, we could be full of talent and still be basic as a human. Okay? And so we just have to recognize the ways in which we have been being basic, okay? We've been being basic while also being spiritually greedy, while also just like running around here just flinging our everywhere, doing all of this, okay? And so it is time for us to be sat down, okay? Say it today. That's the rude way to say it, right? Basically, like sit your ass, set that ass down, set that ass down, okay? Exactly. So for real, y'all, this is the season. This is the season to do that. I feel like this was good. I was like, I haven't been live with my cousins in a while. Let me talk to my cousins. Yes, we are. This is the energy, y'all. Do not fight it, okay? Do not fight it. And sometimes I have my moments, I slip up and I forget, like, this is really, stop taking it personal. Stop resisting. Like, surrender. I surrender all. So I be fasting. I surrender all to thee, my gentle Savior. I surrender all. And I know some of y'all have moved on from church, but Savior, you can be Savior in a song. You know, when I sing that stuff, I ain't always singing to Jesus. I will go and sing that song to a tree and be like, just have worship with the tree. Okay? Some of my biggest moments have me been somewhere singing in the mountains. California, I done had church with some of them mountains, okay? We just gotta let it go, okay? Because it's real, like, it's real. Like, it's real. It's real, yeah. Just stop resisting. Stop resisting and just be ahead of it. Tell the truth, okay? Tell the truth because I asked you. Because mama asked you the first time. Mama said, if you just tell me right now, you ain't gonna get in trouble. I promise I ain't gonna whip you if you just tell me the truth. And if you lie, I'ma know you lying. I'ma know you lying. Don't ask how I'ma know, but I'ma know. That's the energy in the air. The energy in the air is like, listen, we all just gotta be accountable for our parts, okay? The only way that we can really heal this shit is to start addressing in ourselves, in our blood, in our bones, in our bodies, in our families, our immediate families, you know, our extended families, but you have to start with yourself. We have to start with ourselves. We have to really start uprooting this fear and releasing the bullshit, okay? Release the bullshit. You don't need it no more, okay? You don't need to be constipated. I don't want that for you, okay? And also, here's the thing. Even because I talk about predator culture a lot, and I said it, I'm really going to drop a series on that, okay? I'm trying to, here's the thing with the one thing that I haven't said, and even to be a part of that culture, we have to acknowledge the ways in which we are predators too, okay? The ways in which, if you haven't, the person, I don't know if they still on here, but I think it was Ardia, Women Who Run with the Wolves. I think that's a good book for everybody to read. In that book, though, she breaks it down about just how, even when you think about artists, when you think about feminine energy, we think about that life force energy, that creative energy. For that to exist, humans have created an opposing force to that. Like, for creative energy, we have created an energy that is going to go and prey on the energy. So we have to acknowledge the ways in which we have in our own lives been predators and preys. We talk a lot about being victims. Even think about a martyr culture, a culture that's so rooted in martyrdom and like sacrificing ourselves. That's just being a prey. A victim is a person who is a prey. But it's like there are aspects of being a victim where it's like at one point I was a victim because somebody victimized me, and then there were other times when I threw myself in the shit. Like I've chosen to be a prey, and in order for you to even understand that means that there's an aspect of you that has to also understand what it means to be a predator. Even in the smallest ways, even if it's as much as like stealing somebody's joy, even if it's as much as just like being intentionally kind of like wanting somebody to hurt or wanting somebody to not whatever. Like it's as subtle as that, and it's also as deep as some of the bigger examples that we have in our society and in our families and our cultures. But we all have to start acknowledging the ways in which we have been. What has your role been in all of this, you know, in your own life, to yourself, to your inner child, to the people around you, to the people you proclaim to love, to the people you proclaim to be connected to. Like 1, 2, 3, I just saw it again, you know, like that's peace and love. Yes. See you later, blue sky. I think I'm probably about to roll out too soon because y'all done roll with me this long. It's been a really good. I can't believe y'all sat up and live with me for this long. I'm so grateful for the YouTube channel, and I wanna. What is your role in your suffering? Exactly. And even I had suggested that book, The Prophet, earlier. One of the your sorrow is carving out, like your sorrow is carving out room for your joy, you know. And so even if you think about that in aspects to like forgiving yourself, you know, to have some humility and to have some compassion with yourself when you're analyzing the ways in which you've played in your own suffering, you know, like, you know, to admit and heal that shit and to transmute it, you have to come at it in a soft way. You have to come at it in a way where, again, you are learning to like transmute and integrate the energies and not just keep recreating the cycles. You know, like there is a purpose for everything. Like there's some stuff in my life that I've done, that I've said, that I've whatever, and it's like, why did I do that? You know, but it's like when I look at the ancestral energies that I'm healing and the ancestral energies that I'm coming from, and some of the choices that some of the people I'm related to that made, it's like, and even my shit wasn't even as bad as theirs, but it's like I can see how that energy has been in me, you know, like in all the ways. But I love y'all. Hello, wait, what's that one song? Hello, farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now, until we meet again. It's been great to sing and play together, but now it's time to say goodbye. We used to watch that Out of the Box. That's how old I am. But I love this talk too. I really just wanted to get on here and chat it up because I really do love y'all, and I appreciate this YouTube channel so much. And I really am wanting to make more content and like infuse this type of stuff into the artistic stuff. Like I got some music coming for y'all soon, and I got more. The vlogs are about to get even deeper. I'm about to start making my vlogs are gonna turn into docuseries one day. But I just appreciate y'all, and I don't really care, you know, about the numbers, but I am like I'm in it to win it. So this channel means a lot, and growing this channel with y'all means a lot to me. The dogs are barking, so now it's Nala, quiet. She's gonna keep barking, but I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I love y'all cousins and my friends. Be good to yourself, be true to yourself, and be honest, be real, okay? Let that fatherless go. Let the shit go, okay? Surrender. Surrender. Hey, Shikova. Hey, boo. Okay, no, for real. I love y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being my friends. 1, 2, 3 again. 23. Travel around the world and back again. Your heart is true. Okay, she won't stop barking, so we out. And we out. Yeah. And we done.